Hey Jason, how are you, mate?
Fantastic to come and see your new place.
Well, you can see it's a bit of a work site.
It's coming together, but
I'm excited because key pieces are falling into place
Yes.
now. And you can see just how integral the use of line is here. And this is
Yes.
where you guys have come into play because I've used you successfully on many projects with clients and now I get to use you
Yes.
on my own home. But what do you think?
Weathergroove Fusion.
It is
How good?
Fusion. I'm glad that you know your product.
How good is that looking?
What I love about this product is that it's so on trend because it's got the power of the linear, the vertical line. Right.
James, give me the inspiration of why you incorporated Weathergroove Fusion in this particular application.
Well, I love the use of line. And if you see, look, come here directly from the front of the house. If you see, I've got to play with scale. So I've got these straight lines of the house.
Yes.
And then I've got to play with vertical to be able to create that visual
Yes.
interest. A nice play on texture.
Yeah.
So with the main house, I've already played with a batten and board profile.
Yes.
I'm doing a coastal take on mid-century modern this time, not so directly Palm Springs, more
Yes.
Palm Springs meets beach. So the main idea of this screening wall is to create that privacy because behind that is our new pergola and tech, which is essentially the outdoor space from the granny flat. This is only a 60 square metre granny flat, okay?
Wow.
So the screened wall is to give us that connection but separation. So I wanted the V-Groove look,
Yes.
but I wanted something a little bit more on point, a little bit more style, and that's where the Fusion was the perfect one for me because it's not so regular. When I explain this to design students, and I'll talk about your product,
Yes.
regular V-Groove is the same size. So I talk about that being like rock and roll. It's the beat, so it's a regular line. This is more syncopated. This is like jazz because the lines go do 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 do. And if you can see the musicality with that, it creates a much more visually interesting use of vertical line outside, and it's perfect for this application.
And we come up with that concept for that very reason. We had regimented 150 grooves, 300 grooves. Creating the Fusion with segmented different grooves creates a different look that you were wanting.
Yeah, look, I think it's just playful, but
Yeah.
what I find from a design point of view is the power of texture.
Yes.
People are looking now, especially with lots of homes that have rendered surfaces, there's nothing wrong with render,
Yes.
but visually it's one flat surface. I think people underestimate the power of texture. During the day it plays with natural light,
Yes.
it creates interest and our eyes see that and we end up being drawn and attracted to the space. At nighttime with man-made light, it's so powerful because it creates another level of interest, and I think you then find spaces more visually interesting to look at.
Great little design tip that is, James, actually.
It's when you're looking here, you can see the power of the line, but
Yeah.
I've also added more contrast with the horizontal openings. So it was the perfect material for me to use on the home to create that sort of holiday vibe, but it also elevated the look of the screen wall.
One of the things that WeatherTech's features and benefits is the durability and the ease of use. Tell us about the installation of the product.
Well, I already knew because we used your products on the main house,
Yes.
and I actually knew WeatherTech before I used it personally by speccing it through some of my builders for clients. So the installation's fantastic. It's a pre-made board. There's all little joining pieces, the aluminium strips to slide in to create the join. My carpenter who I got to do the work here did the main house, so he was so happy with it because he knows it's so easy to cut and it's not as heavy as other board materials to be
Sure.
able to lift and put into place. From a sustainability point of view, you guys just blow everything else out of the market because, you know, it's really important for me. I'm affiliated, you know, with Planet Ark. I'm all about sustainability, but I think even my clients now are asking that. They're sort of demanding where things are made, how they're made, what happens to them at the end of life. So your product, as you know,
Yes,
it's got so much good qualities, how it's
the
made.
life cycle has been reinvented itself. 97% hardwood, 3% wax.
Yep.
Better than zero carbon footprint. You can't get a more sustainable cladding product.
And even though I don't want to think about this house going anywhere, we're just, you know, it's not finished yet.
Yes.
Properties have a life cycle. So at the end of its life, this product can be taken off.
Yeah.
I know that these screen panels can go straight through the wood chipper
Sure.
and straight
Into
onto the
garden
garden.
bed. Absolutely.
And what other products can you do that with? Like, it's quite outstanding. As you can see, it's still a work in progress, so there's still things to happen, especially all of the planting. My design was to be able to make it look like it fits beautifully into the streetscape. I've got it floating off the floor.
Yes.
I'm going to put planting in there, beautiful greenery against the vertical line, and also to let air flow through. So it's really important to have that airflow and reduce heat and just connect with outside.
Yeah.
And then those horizontal lines are also going to be filled with planting as it grows, and it'll sort of grow through the space. So a really nice connection between what is a structure with nature.
It's looking fantastic here. I can't wait to see what you've done inside.
Let's go.
Take me through.
What do you think?
You're more talented than I thought, James. You did this yourself.
I did, mate. I've got a metal frame on there and I put a timber frame inside
Yes.
and then attached the cladding on the outside.
fantastic.
You've got those corner pieces, so it allowed my cutting to be almost perfect, but the pieces that you
Sure.
already supply can go over the top.
Yes.
I needed that look because I wanted the gate to just blend in with
runs
the
continuously with
wall. As you can see now, this is the alfresco with the pergola on top. But as people are sitting here, they're having a margarita, they're on holidays, they're going to be looking at this as the backdrop. And how, like, on holidays does this scream? It feels like sort of a bit of a casual resort space.
It looks beautiful. I'll tell you what, I could have a margarita right now. That's what I think about it. Weather Group Woodsman 75 offcuts. What are they doing there?
You have a very good eye, you know your products. They are offcuts and they're not going to waste because I've already got ideas to use this on another project. The material is so versatile. Now, I know most people might think of this as an external product because it is able to be used externally, but it also works really well inside. And I think I need people to open their minds at how versatile it is. I've used it inside and I think you're going to be really blown away by the results.
Can't wait to see. Come and show us.
Come on in. You can see it straight away.
Isn't that popping magnificent?
You think it looks good here? How about that shot?
And inside all the bedrooms as well.
The way that I added it here was to really draw your eye into the space. So it's framing the wall where the TV's going to go and the two doorways to the bedrooms.
Yes.
But I also used it on the back wall of those two rooms as well. So your eye sees the darker color and the texture, and then it flows through. What that means is when you're here, you are literally drawn into the space. You can sort of feel yourself wanting to walk towards
It's
it
super
now.
impressive. And the reason we brought out the 75mm groove, albeit it's an external product too, the application is lending itself from a design trend internally, like you've created here.
Well, it's a beautiful product for a few reasons. The vertical line is really powerful to add height to a space. So people underestimate the power of line. It's great for a rebuild like we're doing here with a brand new granny flat, but for people who are renovating, it's a game changer because it's a cladded product that can go over the top of an existing wall.
Yeah.
You instantly add texture and transform a space. But I think combining a color and texture as a feature wall really helps elevate.
The other benefit you've got here, James, is the durability of our product.
Correct.
So you can bang the hit, it's a big bonus as well.
It's really important because a plaster wall, you know, it gives you that nice smooth finish. We've gone lighter here. But if this is going to be an Airbnb, especially in a room that's designed for kids to go into, they can give it a bit of a whack. By putting the beds against those walls, any kids jumping in onto a bed moving and hitting the wall, people having a bit of rumble tumble, which kids do. Maybe there's rumble tumble in the other room too. Then it's just going to be able to take all of that wear and tear. It is a really good point that you make because it's hard wearing.
Yeah.
You can see also, because the colour's so deep, it allows the texture to be the star of the show. It almost blends into, it's just this side of a black. It's a really deep indigo. So now you can see all of that embossed, chatted, sort of
and
knurling.
The light really picks it up, doesn't it, from the skylight?
Yeah, the skylight. So there's that play on light again.
Yes.
All those knotted details, it's such an authentic embossed look of natural timber that I think it's just really elevating the experience. And what was really funny here, we've had different trades on site, you know, building the granny flat. It was actually one of the apprentice guys who was laying the floor and he was commenting about it. This is like from a 17-year-old, you know, apprentice going, how awesome is this? And he was touching it. And to see somebody who's really, it's not in their space, excited and being able to voice that, that was really exciting for me as a designer to see, you know, that reaction on somebody.
Another door design trend taking more momentum. I think it's a new design trend, James. It's taking off internally, our product.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you know, in this present market, for people, everybody, no matter whether you're here or here with budget, everyone's watching budget. You want a product that's going to perform incredibly well, that is easy to maintain and hard wearing like you've spoken about, but also can be applied, because you've got to look at the cost of labour as well in Australia. So this can be applied by tradespeople, or the DIY market can deal with this without sort of taking on too much and being overwhelmed by working with the material. You can imagine here now, the wall behind us and here, you know, mums and dads could grab this now and apply it this afternoon, give it a sand, give it a paint, add some colour, and within a day or two, they've transformed their space in a very clever way.
And like you explained outside with the gate, it's a DIY product.
Yeah.
Very easy to put together.
Well, I did it, and I'm not a trades guy. Like, I'm pretty handy. I'm
And
usually.
how cool was the gate looking?
The gate's looking good, thank you, mate. I mean, I'm a good demolisher, but I'm handy enough to do things, and I think Australians in general are pretty happy, and I think the more DIY work you do, the more confident you get.
Absolutely.
But combining it with colour was really a game changer. I was actually contemplating when it was all sort of just undercoated because it was white. It did look really good in white.
The texture comes out even more.
Yeah, because the cladding, the texture within the board and the V-groove worked really well. But once that deep blue went on top, there was no turning back.
Oh, fantastic, looks amazing.
And you can see the contrast there with the architrave, the
Yes.
skirting, the ceiling. At the moment, there's PowerPoints everywhere because we're still...
Work in progress.
Yeah, styling's
How
got to
good is
happen.
it even work in progress? Imagine the finished product.
Thank you, mate. I love to hear people saying that. As you can see here, this wall looks really good. How nice is it with that white trim around there?
Beautiful.
And the TV's going to go
Trending
in
colours,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. So you can see, So this is where the master bed's going to be, and the two bedsides, and you can see, you know, you've got the mirror there to look, but you look straight down into the room.
Yes.
And it adds that contrast into the space. As you can see, it's actually only a really small space. I mean, this is a granny flat. It's only 60 square metres.
Yes.
And I think people get worried about particularly adding dark colours, but when I've combined it with the texture, you can see how effective it is. So I think that people shouldn't be scared of this. It creates the perfect backdrop for art and furniture because it's creating contrast. And I think it's just key, texture and contrast.
The colours, how you've combined it with our product, and it shows the durability and the ability of our product to be used internally from a DIY perspective as well as a trades and builders perspective. 97% hardwood, 3% wax. People can use it, feel healthy. Sustainability credentials. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. We're only a couple of weeks away now, mate. We've got landscaping and hard surfaces outside. Inside is only styling. I know it's going to look awesome, but it's been really great having you here on site to share the experience. Thanks so much.
I can't wait to see the finished product. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thanks, mate.